Morning everyone, Rob here. Just as with my last video, I'm in the deep recesses of crunch mode on another project this week, so I thought what I could do was dust off something which I started putting together a couple of months ago. In a way, it's just a speed build in Unreal, but there's a bit more to it than that. The metaphor that jumps out whenever I try doing a big project with face capture is orbital rockets. So if face and body motion capture is the bits that go to the moon, or orbit of Earth or whatever, then there's all this other stuff beneath it that I always forget about, which is actually necessary to get it to where it needs to go. Now what this project is a simple blocking scene in Blender based on a scene from the Witcher Netflix series and then brought into Unreal where the scene is dressed up and lit. I'm cheating a bit because I have a graphics card capable of ray tracing, which makes the lighting process a lot smoother. But one of the reasons this scene leapt out to me as a thing to practice on is that there are plenty of very affordable Tavern assets for Unreal. So the one I used is Bumping Pub mostly, and can be purchased for $5 and is nicely modelled and textured for what we're doing here. I also was pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to modify some of the Paragon Sparrow assets to make a quick stand-in for the character so we can see how the lighting interacts with the clothing and the face of the character. But the other reason I chose this scene is that, taken at face value, it's a simple, fairly short scene with two characters meeting. But if we go back to that rocket metaphor, there's a whole wealth of fundamental cinematic components supporting the scene, so with lighting and camera focal length, camera motion, when it stays still, when it moves, sound effects, of course, props, and so on. Which is why I find this a very useful way to dip your toes into learning about animation and filmmaking in general, because to even start testing out your ideas, half the battle for me is learning how to guess about how the rest of that rocket is going to interact and lift up or fail to lift up the individual component you're working on at any one time. I also just think with the work that's gone into sequencer and real-time lighting, Unreal is just a really great way to look at cinematography, and even if you're just looking to study and gain an appreciation for the process. Obviously, I'm not going to share the audio or video from this scene, but if you want to watch the scene yourself, then there is, of course, Netflix.com. I'm sharing the blocking scene in Blender and Unreal if you want to look at that, but I'll leave it there for now and get back to crunching away on this other work. I'm very tempted to return to the scene and build it up a bit more in future, but obviously that depends on my workload and getting a new update to my facial capture tool in the near future. But for now, however, if you found this helpful or interesting, do consider liking and subscribing, and in the meantime, get lots of sleep is what I'd recommend.